Well, rivalry weekend is officially up next, and South Carolina couldn't have had a worse time for arguably its worst loss of the Pulmonary era. The Gamecocks on Wednesday night suffered a 9-8 loss to Queens here at Founders Park. There's a lot to unpack with this game. Number one, the fact that this is the third loss to a mid-major opponent this season, and it's not even March yet. Keep in mind, for all of South Carolina's problems last season, the one thing they never did was lose to a mid-major opponent, so they've got 3 on the board in the month of February. This is also Queens' first ever win over South Carolina, and it's also their first ever win over a Power 4 opponent. Before tonight, they were 0-17 in those games. The Royals were also 9-44 in 2025. So, all that to be said, yeah, this was probably... I've covered a lot of rough losses in Maneri's tenure here at South Carolina. There's been some run rules that have been bad, some walk-off losses that I couldn't believe, but this one was probably the most stunning, I would say, because you're supposed to beat these teams. And this type of loss, it really does come at a horrible time, considering the Gamecocks are hosting Clemson on Friday night. And that's a series that a lot of fans view as the potential point where the season is either over for them or they're going to stick around and watch more of South Carolina can find a way to win that series against the Tigers this weekend. Getting into the game itself, though, tonight, after all that, it was a really rough night for the pitching staff, specifically for Connor Ciccoli, who got the start, gave up 3 runs in 2 innings, and Parker Marlott only recorded 1 out as he gave up a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. It got to a point where Maneri just took him out in the middle of an at-bat and never got a chance to finish it out. Patrick Dudley was really good. 2 2/3 innings, gave up 1 unearned run, struck out 3, walked 1. Good night for the freshman left-hander. Josh Gregoire gave up a home run. Elijah Foster gave up a run. Hudson Lee went in an inning and a third and didn't give up any hits or runs. But it was a hole that South Carolina, the hole that South Carolina was in right out of the gate because of Ciccoli and Marlott. I mean, they were down 6-1 early in this game. And throughout the night, in my head, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, this deficit is definitely big, but it's nothing that they can't come back from because you're facing a mid-major opponent who eventually will have to dive into their bullpen, and the deeper you get into this game, the better chance you're going to have to figure out a way to win. And it almost was the case, in all honesty. The bats could not get anything going against Adrian Quezada. 3 runs on 8 hits over 6 innings. This was a guy that came to the night with an ERA almost at 11. But then you get into the bullpen by the 7th inning, and that's where the runs started to come. Aaron Jamison hit a home run in the 7th inning, a solo shot, and then in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs after scoring 2 more runs, Tyler Bach hit a 2-run homer to make it a 1-run game. But Will Craddock, South Carolina's current leading hitter, hitting .500 on the year, struck out a 1-2 pitch, and that ended any hopes for the Gamecocks to complete the comeback. So, yeah, it's surprising. It really is that this was a game that the Gamecocks lost. And you could honestly say that maybe they overlooked this game. That was the first question I asked Maneri after the game. Did you feel like your team overlooked this game with what is ahead this weekend with Clemson? Because it's easy to do that, right? We've seen it happen before, but usually South Carolina wins this type of game, and that was not the case tonight. And Maneri's answer was that he didn't overlook it, but he couldn't say the same for the players. He wasn't sure. He didn't want to speak for them, essentially. So whatever the reason is, this is a really catastrophic loss for this program that's really at its lowest point right now. And it's going to be an uphill battle from here with what's to come against Clemson, and then you get SEC play starting here in about a month or so. So the Gamecocks will be back in action on Friday night, hosting the Tigers here at Founders Park for the start of a 3-game series. It'll be Founders Park Friday, Segra Park Saturday, and Doug Doug Kingsmore Stadium on Sunday out at Clemson. So once again, Gamecocks take a 9-8 loss to Queens here on Wednesday night. For GamecockCentral.com, I'm Jack Veltri.